Well, hello, everybody. My name is Dotti Berry, and I'm coming to you from Birch Bay, Washington, where pickleball is a passion that we have in our area. We're about 5-10 minutes from the Canadian border, and we love our pickleball up here in Whatcom County. That includes Bellingham, Washington, Linden, Ferndale, Birch Bay, Blaine. Anyway, we're here today to sort of talk a little bit about what's happening in the local communities because as everybody knows, COVID has been here and we've been during the summer months, most of us playing outdoors, but we've got situations where some of us will be going indoors to play or some of us will be heading south. Anyway, I'm really excited to be here. I am a PPR certified coach. I've been playing just a little bit over 2 years as of the spring. Of course, we lost a little bit of time because of COVID, but we've been back playing with some what we call pickleball pods. We are in phase 2 in our area. But I'm going to bring in a lady who's had a great impact on pickleball in our area. She probably doesn't get credit due to her enough. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in right now. This is Heidi Holmes. Heidi, how are you?
I'm doing fine today, Dotti. It's great to see you again.
Yes, indeed. Well, Heidi, I just want to commend you. You are the program manager at Birch Bay Activity Center in Birch Bay, Washington, Blaine. And you did something remarkable back in 2012. You actually brought pickleball there. How did you come about doing that? Because that's way before a lot of people were doing pickleball. And I'm just sick that I lived 5 minutes away and didn't know about it. Can you believe that?
When we first moved into the gymnasium here at Bay Horizon Park, people were talking about the game pickleball. We were hearing it's a really popular sport, so I started making some phone calls to the local people who played it and said, "Hey, we're interested in starting it at our gym." So about January 2012, we bought our first net and got some locals together. We put some stripes on the floor and started having fun. And it's taken off. So we're really, really proud of our pickleball program here at the Birch Bay Activity Center.
Yeah, as they say, the rest is history, huh?
That's right.
And then, of course, we encountered some situations we were not expecting this year, as everybody knows. But like all good pickleball players and people who love the game, it's all about the reset. We get ourselves ready. We go, okay, this has happened. What do we do next? And Heidi, you all were instrumental in our area and also working with, people from our Bellingham Pickleball Club to really pull together and get some things done, see how we could work together. So right now we're getting ready to go into, our winter season. And at Birch Bay Activity Center, just to let people know, we have 2 indoor courts and 3 outdoor courts. So we have been playing outdoors. But as we come into the indoor courts, what are going to be some of the dynamics you're, having to deal with? What did you all have to consider because we're still in phase 2? And let our audience know what they can really do to, to get signed up.
Yes. Going inside had its challenges. The size of our gym allows us to have approximately 11 people in the gym itself. So we worked out with the labor and industries that we could safely have 10 people in the gym because that would give room for a staff member to come in and out of the scene. And we've got 2 courts going. So we have a couple of options. You can either bring in a group of 5 people and share a court with another group of 5 people, or if you wanted to privately rent the court because you don't really want to go outside your bubble, then you can rent the court for an hour and a half. So what we're doing is hour and a half sessions. If you want to rent the court for an hour and a half, it's $25 for that session. We also have, like I said, during the time when staff is here, if you can come in as it's not really a drop-in, but you have to kind of join a group. And that group signs up with me as to what hours or what time slots they want. It can get a little chilly because we have to keep the doors open to let air flow through. But, for the most part, you're out of the elements. So that's helpful.
Yeah. I want to get over here and show some things that let me just kind of see if I can add this to the stream here and go over. Yeah, I hope everybody can see that right there. This is over on our website for Birch Bay Activity Club. And let me just pull it up a little bit more there. And so over here, just to let people know, when you go over here to the website, and I'm going to come back and sort of put that up for a second. Let me see if I can't get that up. Okay, it's scrolling along the bottom, as you can see there. So when we go over there, we've got this tab up at the top, and it says pickleball. So if you click on reserve a court, you're going to see that you actually have to call and reserve that court. When we were having our play outside, we were able to just sign up online, but they're going to have to call you now. Isn't that correct, Heidi?
That is correct, yes. Yep. Outside is still, you can still reserve an outside court, but inside courts, because of the time constraints that we have, it's easier to call staff and have staff book it for you.
Yeah. And I want to call everybody's attention to this, the Coach Mark workout, because we have Mark Livingston, one of our great coaches in the area, level 2 coach, who's going to join us in just a minute. And that's where you access this. I'm going to wait and bring him on, Heidi, and then talk about how you all really came together, because BBAC is the one who shot the video. So I want other community people out there to consider, what can you do together to get information out about how to drill and other activities. And also, we're going to be talking at the end about build a fence, because some of us in the community, well, Heidi, what can I say? We're just sort of tired, I guess, of chasing all those balls in the wet grass, huh? And we don't expect you all to do everything. We feel like, okay, we got to do some stuff too. So let me go ahead right now and bring Mark Livingston in, and I'm gonna put us all three up here together. Hey, Mark, welcome.
Greetings.
Yeah.
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Hey, Mark.
Well, this is really interesting, because you all had a collaboration that happened, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. And I think it's good for people to see collaboration. It's something that we need right now between community centers and the people that are playing pickleball. We cannot expect you all to do everything. So we've got some ideas on how we're going to put that fence in. But not only with that collaboration, but with the collaboration you did with Mark. Now, Mark, I want to just kind of give you your due now, because Heidi has made an impact with pickleball, but so have you. I mean, it's been amazing. Here you are. You're a person that's on the board now of the Bellingham Pickleball Club. You had 50 years. Mark, how can you have 50 years if you're not 50 yet? But you had 50 years of tennis playing and 10 years of tennis coaching experience prior to your introduction to pickleball. And then after, it's just like everybody else. You pick up pickleball, and somehow when we're older, we go, this is the sport I want to do for the rest of my life. No dig against tennis. We're not doing that. But after 18 months of playing, you became a certified coach through PPR, like I did. And then you did something else. You achieved your level 2 certification through IPTPA, which is the International Pickleball Teaching Professional Association, while the PPA, of course, is the Professional Pickleball Registry. So tell me a little bit about what possessed you to go the pickleball route.
Well, I had full intentions 2 years ago when we relocated to Blaine and the 49th parallel to continue playing tennis, actually to play senior tennis tournaments, and obtain a national ranking and all of that kind of stuff. And then I was introduced to pickleball.
Wow.
And I got bit by the bug really bad.
Yeah.
And so in thinking about the 50 years that I played tennis, thinking about how at age 17, I just had the itch to teach. And then In terms of my career, I became a consultant and a strategy coach for organizations. I've always had this desire around learning, improving performance, continuous improvement. So it's a natural segue for me in my second career, my retirement career, to deliver lessons, to teach beginners, as well as work with novice, intermediate, and advanced players to help them improve their performance. The other thing that I found is, just like I think in every other profession, when you teach others, you also integrate the key fundamentals, the key concepts into your own game. Yeah. And so that's really allowed me to improve rapidly, is being able to understand the mechanics and the mindset of high quality pickleball, and then share that with everybody else.
Well, I know you're doing a great job in this area, and I love drilling with you. We have a group that plays together on Thursdays, and that's always a lot of fun. And I think, you know, one of the things I would say that really connected me to you is your great desire to learn. And I knew you were a really great person right off the bat, but I saw that desire in you, and then I knew it was only a matter of time till you'd be coaching people like crazy. So, so that and I did want to scroll Mark's website along the bottom there, coach-mark.com, and we're going to show you some things so that Heidi and Mark, again in collaboration, put together. So Heidi, the videos that you all have done, and I'll go back and screen share over to the Birch Bay Activity Center website and kind of show people, you know, where that is. But how did this collaboration come about?
Well, we were thinking of ways to engage our pickleball community by finding things that they could come to our website for and look at. We know that it's popular for people to look for drills. I know YouTube is full of them. We thought it'd be great to have a local connection where we can actually fit a coach with the local community, because I see so many people that want to improve their game and go into tournaments, and we thought, well, this would be a great way, since we're kind of in a slower period this summer. Why not let's make some videos and give it a try. So I was really excited to work with Mark. These are great little 1-minute clips that's, you know, can give people an idea of what types of drills are available for them, and then hopefully they can catch on to Mark and say, hey, you know, I want to learn more. So yeah, it was a fun. We had a great time, and yeah, see, I think there's 10 videos on our website, Mark, that people can look at. Yeah, has the script to it as well.
Let me take you over there real quick so that you can see here. I'm just going to kind of click on it again. You come over here to pickleball, then you click on the Coach Mark workout. That comes up, and you get to see his story, the video series. And so all you have to do is click on one of these, and then you can make it bigger. And so there you see him working out with Barbara Goebel. And she's one of our great ladies with the Bellingham Pickleball Club, who was president last year.
That's right.
So she was your person who helped you do these videos, and you can kind of see. So I'm going to kind of stop that for a second. But Mark, talk to me for a minute about the importance of some of these videos and why you put together them, about the importance you feel about your workout.
Okay, well, one of the things that I see when I'm working with players at all levels of skill is that they're really struggling to build the consistency required to move to the next level. So if you think about a novice player who says, I want to get a 3.0 skill level rating and become an intermediate player, or somebody that wants to be a 3.5, or even an advanced player and get a 4.0 rating, one of the things that prevents them from moving up is being able to hit shots on a consistent basis. And the other thing too is, when you move up in skill level, you're going to encounter better players, stronger players who hit faster, harder, and with more spin. And so how do you hit all of the shots, all 8 basic shots of pickleball, under those circumstances. So it's a continuous learning process to build that consistency. But in order to be consistent, you have to have the control. You have to be able to control the paddle and ball making contact. You have to be able to control it to certain areas of the court. You have to keep the elevation of the ball down. As we all know, when it's too high, we pay the price for that.
Oh, yeah.
And so those are all challenges to build the control and consistency. And then I call it the third C, the 3 C's, the confidence. So if you have control, if you have consistency, you're going to have the confidence to be able to handle whatever comes at you at whatever level of skill. So that's sort of the mindset about that. Part of it is also learning how to slow the game down. As you know, one of my favorite mantras is play low and slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you don't play hard and fast. You don't speed it up. You don't become offensive or aggressive when appropriate. But in many cases, we overswing, we overhit, we try too hard, we get too excited by that high ball. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And we make those unforced errors. So that's also part of the mindset, to have that balance. You know, when you look at the YouTube videos of the pro players, they know how to play both sides of the equation. The other thing about the videos that I wanted to do too is that these are videos that Barbara Goebel and I have been doing now for almost 9 months.
Yeah.
But also coming out of the COVID lockdown in May and June, I elected for a period of time, about 3 weeks, to do nothing but singles and to do these drills. One is I wasn't quite ready to join groups or get out there, you know, yet. But I also wanted to get back into playing mode. So that's what I concentrated on for 3 weeks, is to build that control, consistency, and the confidence to be able to go engage in high-level play during the summer. So there's another option for folks who are a little bit concerned about playing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go indoors and you just do singles and you do these drills.
Yeah.
And part of the sequence of 7 drills and 3 drill games, the 3 drill games also allow you to play skinny singles in a competitive, you know, friendly competitive environment. But that will help to refine and build the skills necessary to play high quality doubles as well. So
well, you know, your videos are great in what you've put together. And it's funny because when we were playing sometimes, you know, we'll all go, oh man, you know, missed that. And I just look at everybody and we laugh. I go, look, if we were consistent, we'd be 4 5s and 5-0s. It's that consistency without making that unforced error that becomes the distinction. At this point in our games, we know where we're supposed to be, even if we don't always get there. We know when we've made the error. It's just delivering on that shot. And sometimes we don't, because we don't have that consistency yet. And that's what we're working towards, so we can, you know, move up in our level. So I know that you've put together this great program and great videos. And so again, talking about community collaboration, I'm going to bring Heidi back in here. Is there anything else you'd like to say, though, first, just specifically to the coaching you're doing? I do want to let people know that you're working with groups around the West to help their pickleball club implement a rating system, a club rating system. Tell me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was contacted by a club in California who has since contacted a sister club nearby, and they are designing and implementing a club-specific rating system. We are using USAPA, IPTA, even Bellingham Pickleball Club information, but they want to create something specific for their club. And in a previous life, when I was a consultant, what I did is I traveled around the country and I helped industry put in skill and performance-based testing and training systems. So my background fits naturally in with a skill level progression system like the world of pickleball has. So I'm working with them long distance right now. There's an assessment team. We're designing this system from A to Z. But more importantly than the nuts and bolts, we're also trying to design a process and a system that club members are going to find equitable, fair, objective, that they're going to get relevant information about how to improve, even if they do or do not make the rating that they desire. And they come away from the experience with a positive attitude.
Wow.
So that's...
You're going to be a busy guy, because I tell you what, if you can crack that nut for people, because there's so many people that become disappointed because of how they got rated or whatever the situation is. But what I think you're bringing to the game of pickleball from your past experience is this systematic way of approaching it. And there's a lot of great people out there who can play and they can coach, but putting systems together is not really their great skill set, to be quite honest. And I've noticed that. And so I'm really excited about you being in our area. Disappointed that you're going, away for 4 months this winter, but no, understand. And those are some of the choices people are making. Do I play indoors? And how do I do that safely? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Or do I have the opportunity, like you do, because you're retired, and go south, and head to Arizona? So that's really great, though, Mark. I'm excited about what you're bringing, not just to the coaching, but to this rating system that you're implementing for clubs. And I know you'll be getting calls from a lot more people. So let me just, let me add Heidi back in here. Heidi, when we start talking about just working together, I want to bring back up, because I'm trying to lay out for communities ways they can work together. Okay. One of the things we did last year is we kind of came together as a few people in our community and bought the lobster so that people could, drill and use that. And when I first approached you about it, you said, well, we got, X amount of money. And I was like, well, okay. What if we made up the rest of it, some of us, and so I think there's a lot of different ways that we can certainly collaborate. And I want to get your website back up here, Heidi, for people to see, because if they go over there, they're going to find out how to get in touch with you and call and make those reservations. But there's one thing I do want to bring up is going inside. This is something that I found recently. Let me get this picture in here. But it's a silicone insert. And I'll just tell you, you can buy them in packs of 5 on Amazon. And personally, I've been trying some different things and getting ready to go indoors that really allow us to have that mask, but also to be able to breathe better. So I would highly recommend that you get on Amazon and look up those silicone inserts, because it does make it easier to breathe. So I've been passing it out to people, Heidi. I know I gave you one and Mark one. And but anyway, let's talk a little bit about our Build the Fence project. Heidi, what did when I talk about, can we get a lobster? Can we get a fence? Heidi's favorite thing is that's not in the budget. And I understand that. So then that's when we go about finding, other ways we're going to get things done. So Jamie, one of our pickleball playing buddies, I think was the first person who said, well, why don't we build that fence? And I was like, they just built a court at their home during COVID, and they had to put a fence around theirs. She said, I think we can build that for about $500 and we can do the work. So we thought we might build during the winter. Get funds during the winter, I should say. And this is not going to be a BBAC's got to come up with the money for this fence. Heidi, tell about the page you just put together so that we're going to be able to go there and contribute. And I'm going to pull it back up as you talk about that.
Yes, we've got a our website. If you go to Build a Fence, you can find out about a little bit about the fence. Just kind of got a draft up there now. We're just getting started, but people can make donations. We will have cash, check credit card capabilities. So we'll probably put up a button eventually for people to pay online if they choose that way. So yeah, this is really exciting because it really does take the community. I mean, we are a community-based organization. The community funds our operations budget, and whatever we can do to work together to bring other people into the expenses or help, it just feels like a family. We've had people here that say, this is like you're like our family here. So yeah, I mean, it takes all of us to build it. So this is a real great way. I'm really excited for this project because I do watch them out there chasing the balls in the grass, and you know, I mean, we also kind of, you know, it doesn't have any fencing around it, so it can be used for basketball, and there are pickleball players on it. And we do share the property with Camp Horizon, and we have to respect their time. So we, you know, whatever we can do to work together to make it a fun court to come to, safe, and you know, people get the, you know, a good amount of exercise, but not over exercising.
Well, and you know, with that right next to the courts, and some people have dogs, I don't need to mention to you what we have to sort of step around sometimes. So sometimes it's like in my pickleball game, I just make an unforced error, and then I've got that to deal with. So, you know, I'm really excited about that, and I appreciate Jamie coming up with that idea. And then, you know, of course, we all started talking about it. What do you think? And we thought about doing that this fall, but you know, we just recognized that maybe the best time to build this is just to wait until Mark gets back from Arizona in the spring, and so we can get his help. But honestly, Jamie figures that, you know, if we get 25 people to put in $20 each, and you know what, folks, for what we get to play pickleball for at Birch Bay Activity Center, honestly, Heidi, it's $3 to play, $3 at our community center. I mean, I've played all over the country, and that's the best price going. Now, I have my little insurance thing, so that gets covered, you know. Not that I'm in that age range, but, you know, somehow they sent me a card. Anyway, so you know, you all are just doing a great service for us, and it's the least we can do, especially if we have this passion and commitment for pickleball. I mean, why would we not put in some money? So I'm just going to urge people who are listening to consider, you know, you've probably been saving some money since you've been staying home. Let's just admit it. You've not been traveling so much. So I know you got $20 or more that you could contribute, because, you know, it's just nice to have people working together. And then, Heidi, when we first, the outdoor courts, when we repainted them, we brought everybody together and had a painting party. So, you know, there's a lot of fun, that sense of community. And I think that, I know for myself, that's one of the things that I miss. I'm so grateful for the small group I've been able to play with. But Mark, what has it meant to you to have that sense of community with people? Because I know you and Kim, y'all moved here from North Carolina and come all the way across the country, and you're new. What has it meant to have that sense of community through pickleball?
Oh, well, I think being able to make friends, engage in a common interest. I'm involved as a board member with the Bellingham Pickleball Club at-large member. So it's kind of like getting involved in a project that's greater than yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's how do you build a community of pickleballers, and then you think about all of the positive health and community benefits of pickleball. So I think that's probably a shared value that most pickleball players have. Yeah. That it's more than just them. It's about how can we reach out to everybody, make this inclusive. I think that's part of the values of the game itself. So it's meant a lot to us, for sure.
That's fantastic. And Heidi, so how's it been dealing with all of us crazy pickleball people that show up at BBAC? How do you handle this crazy group sometimes? Because I know we're a handful, you know, I'll admit it, we're a handful. So you got any tips for other communities on dealing with the crazy pickleball group that comes into your community center?
Well, you know, we've also seen a lot of friendships develop. People that didn't know anybody, like Mark said, move here. They see, oh, you have pickleball, and wonderful friendships have developed out of it. So, that's great to see. Sometimes we gotta stand in the middle and say, okay, remember these are the rules, because like any age, people sometimes have disagreement about things, but
yeah,
we just try to make it court friendly. We try to make sure that people are within groups at their own level of play.
mm-hmm.
And encouraging them to learn more and practice and find those drills and skills so that they can get better. Because everybody's new at first, and eventually they get better and better. So we just try to keep people in bubbles of their play level and encourage others to continue with their skills. It's the best that we can do, I think, at this point for encouraging people to continue playing.
Yeah. Well, I want to just commend you all, because I think one of the things you all have done well is have a good balance between the rules you've established and dealing with people. Because sometimes rules can get so rigid that they just run people off. Mm-hmm. And, y'all have had to deal with those. Some people don't like this or that, and you have to come in and chitty chat about it. But you all have always been accessible. And one more thing I want to mention before we leave is how great it's been for your all's commitment. We had the Picklers Palooza, and that would have been our second annual one in September, but we couldn't do it. But I tell you, that was so much fun. We had a group of people, we put it together. Everybody just made it happen. And we had, was it 170 people total? And the weather was crazy. We were swapping up the water that morning, blowing it off. I mean, Brad Otto, he brought his big, I had my little blower and he had this big gasoline one. He said, get out of my way, Brad. And so, just things like that we put together and had an all-day event. The weather cleared up. Somehow we got it done. We had families, introducing them to pickleball. We had hot dogs. We had everything. And then February a year ago, I brought in Tyson McGuffin because I worked with him on some things, and he did a clinic, and so did, along with Matt Goebel. And so, of course, if you recognize that Goebel name with Barbara, honestly, Matt's known as Barbara's son, not the other way around. Are you Matt's mother? So anyway, doing things like that where y'all got on board and said, yes, what can we do to make it happen? And that was in February. Snow was predicted. Somehow we had this big community event the night before the camps. You all were on board. So I'm trying to share some of these ideas, because this is how we make things happen with the partnership and the collaboration. So thank you so much, Heidi. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And I'd like to share one thing is Matt Goebel, I believe he won gold at a couple of championships. He first played pickleball here at the Birch Bay Activity Center. So
yes, he did. Yeah. So if you want to know how seeds get planted, this is how it happens in the community. And if you all hadn't started pickleball so long ago, he might have never had that opportunity. And his father, Ed, plays and Barbara plays. And so it's just, it's a great family activity, no matter what your age. And Matt continues to be our favorite son here in pickleball. Sorry, Mark. He's been around longer, so you're going to have to elevate and come up there. But really, we really do appreciate you being on here today, because this group that I kind of, put this out to back in the spring, we did our Epic Pickleball Summit about the mental game, because that's when we were just coming into COVID. And my feeling was, what can we do for people? Because that was pretty much mind blowing to everybody. We've never encountered anything like we were having to do in the shutdowns. I knew it was going to be mentally tough for people, but I also know that you can take skills and transfer those skills. And I felt like if we could really tap into some mental skills, that when we got back on the court, it was going to be like, hey, piece of cake with what we've gone through, or at least we would have a greater appreciation. But then in the end result, we've got to take those skills and tie it back to the physical, which is the drilling and the playing, so it has to come together. But then after the summit, Dan Gingrich and I were able to do a Mind Shift coaching program, which is still available. So these are the things that a variety of people are trying to do. We had so many pros on the summit. I mean, it was just incredible with Morgan Evans and Sarah Ansberry and just, I mean, on and on. But anyway, thanks to everybody for making that happen. We're going to continue trying to have some things along the way. So Coach Mark, thank you for being on here today. Heidi, thank you for what you continue to do at Birch Bay Activity Center. And I hope that if anybody has questions, they'll reach out to both of you to get some help with their pickleball drilling, Mark, or their club ratings, or Heidi, if other groups see this and say, we've got to get in touch with Heidi and get a few more details if they don't felt like they had enough. So that's all for now. We wanted to keep it around 30 minutes or so. We're about at 35. So we're going to say thanks, everybody, and share this with your friends in our Whatcom County area. The recording will be available now. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you, Dotti. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.